You see a lot of athletes announce retirement and then don't retire because they have so much love. Have you have you had any times like, maybe I was tripping a bit?
Yeah, I do be having those thoughts.
Yeah.
But it's also too, I want to get myself together.
10, 9, 8, 7, power, 6, 5, power.
I made the decision to train in DC because, I haven't been in the coldness in a minute. I haven't even trained in the coldness in a minute. So I feel as though this will help me. DC my second home. I've been coming up here since I was 9 years old, even younger. So I'm not really trying to get in his personal business. Probably just showing him that, I could do anything, especially in your backyard. Pride. Some people be made for it, some people don't. It's not going to win. You better be ready.
Whatever his future holds, fight fans will be watching. And this next one, it's got all the ingredients for something special.
I'm not going to comment on it.
You got to pick one.
I'm not going to. I don't have to pick one.
He doesn't, Ryan, doesn't he got to pick one?
I said the same thing. I'm not commenting on it.
Okay, why? Do you think it's a circus or do you respect it as a good fight?
To Tank's credit, I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe
no
that
doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out. You understand me? But if they do it for real, Tank is highly capable of taking.
Boxing experts recently expressed their annoyance over the impending matchup between Gervonta Davis and Paul Jake. Shawn Porter added to the criticism by stating that, from a boxing standpoint, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis is completely nonsensical. Porter emphasized the obvious size disparity, pointing out that Tank Davis is a lightweight who dominates due to his skill, quickness, and knockout power against fighters his own size, while Jake Paul is a naturally larger man who walks around at heavyweight proportions. He underlined that this match appears to be a generational money grab rather than one that adds to Tank's legacy or boxing history. Porter cautioned that this kind of fight signifies a change in the sport when lucrative bouts and social media buzz trump important contests that might shape careers.
A lot of ways it doesn't make sense to me. Of course, we know the size differential and the list goes on from there. I don't know, man. I think we're entering a generation now or a phase now where fighters, I don't know if it's fighters, I don't know if he doesn't care about the legacy or if he feels like this fight doesn't matter, I'll get back to the legacy. I just don't know. This is truly not, it's not a legacy fight, but of course it is a generational money fight,
Roy Jones Jr. rejected the fight as well, stating that he is only interested in competitive and genuine exhibits. A good exhibition, in his opinion, should nevertheless have the elements of a real fight, like balance and energy, leaving viewers wondering who will win. Jones Jr. feels that there is no genuine sense of competition in this situation because Jake Paul is much larger than Gervonta Davis, which deprives the bout of the significant intensity that would otherwise make it valuable for him. The fight is presented as flashy, but unreal because the novelty of the coupling does not mask its lack of authenticity.
To Tank's credit, I'm interested in the Tank Jake Paul exhibition because I know for a fact that if they do it for real, Tank is capable, although he's small, he's capable of knocking Jake Paul out, just like Jake Paul probably capable of knocking him out because he's so much bigger.
So you believe that?
I believe
no
that
doubt about it.
Without a question, if they fight for real. If they don't, if they say, no, well, we're going to take care of Jake, just want him to go through and learn more, then he might not knock him out. You understand me? But if they do it for real, Tank is highly capable of taking.
Max Kellerman recently expressed his displeasure with a widely reported altercation between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, stating unequivocally that he is not satisfied by the bout. He said the battle was more of a circus act than a real competition, meant to make headlines rather than to showcase fighting prowess. Kellerman emphasized that although Jake Paul has established himself as a well-known fighter and Tank Davis has established himself as one of the world's top lightweights, the fight cannot be considered a legitimate match due to its spectacle and size disparity. Nevertheless, Kellerman acknowledged that Jake Paul is a marketing genius, someone who, despite the claims of many supporters, has managed to make the public feel compelled to observe his events.
You gotta pick one.
I don't have to pick one.
He doesn't, Ryan, doesn't he gotta pick one?
I said the same thing. I'm not commenting on it.
Okay, why? Do you think it's a circus, or do you respect it as a good fight?
Jake Paul is very good at creating events that whatever you want. Well, the reason you get mad is because you're being manipulated.
Oh.
Because you know when the time comes, you're gonna have to watch it.
Right.
He's like the genius at that. He makes events that you have to watch.
Right.
Even if you don't want to. So this is one of those.
When questioned about the circumstances, Eddie Hearn acknowledged that his immediate priorities are still the promises made about Shakur Stevenson's career. He did concede, though, that the announcement of Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis in November has changed the boxing picture as a whole. Hearn stated that the prospect of Tank meeting Shakur is on hold until that fight takes place. In order to demonstrate the extent of Jake Paul's influence in boxing, he made it clear that although promoters can make preparations, everything must stop until this unique but attention-grabbing fight takes place.
I will have to come up with something for Shakur Stevenson. If I don't, that may be the end. It's got to work for me as well as Shakur. Maybe I haven't got anything for him. Maybe he hasn't got anything for me. But right now I know what we agreed with His Excellency, and that's what we'll do for now, and then see where we go.
I know you said you wanted to make that Tank fight, so hopefully we can see that in the future. Eddie?
Jake Paul, isn't he? So he's got, I don't know whether he'll fight what's the rematch?
Lamont Roach.
I don't know if he'll still fight Lamont Roach. I know he's fighting Jake Paul in November, and then maybe Shakur after.
Terrence Crawford made his stance clear by dismissing the match as well. He said that due to the two men's physical disparity, Jake Paul versus Tank Davis cannot be regarded as a legitimate fight. Crawford clarified that Davis would be unable to sustain even a single clean punch from Jake Paul against Tank due to their disparate sizes. He went on to say that Tank would have a hard time getting past Jake Paul's blow because of his height and reach advantages, which would make it difficult for Tank to even approach him closely enough to employ his explosive force. For Crawford, the fight's conclusion is clear, which detracts from the allure of the encounter.
Jake Paul versus Tank Davis, they just announced the fight. What's your instant reaction to that?
I don't know what's going to happen with a 135-pounder going up against a 200-pounder. I think it's not a real fight. Jake just too big. Tank ain't gonna be able to get in from that jab. Jake land one good punch on.
When questioned about the altercation, KSI gave a direct reaction. He stated that he is not interested in Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis, and that, in his opinion, neither is anyone else. His contemptuous tone made it clear that he views the battle as pointless publicity, something that might create excitement, but has no real athletic significance. Fans who are simply fed up with crossover boxing events and would rather see fighters stick to competitive bouts with real substance rather than celebrity-driven spectacles are reflected in KSI's remarks.
Paul versus Gervonta Davis.
Oh, I don't care. I don't think anyone cares, man. No one cares. No one cares.
In an interview with Logan Paul, UFC President Dana White expressed his opinions. He stated that both brothers should be competing against opponents that are more like their own size, but he made it apparent that he does not despise Logan's sibling. He pointed out to Logan that Jake Paul was already enormous when he faced off against Floyd Mayweather, who was considerably smaller. Dana went on to say that this is the reason he would never schedule a bout between Conor McGregor and Jake Paul, because Conor is too little to contend with Jake on an even playing field.
Is the burnt bridge with my brother unfixable?
I don't hate your brother. You guys need to fight guys your the same size. When you fought Floyd, you are massive. He did hit you with a bomb, and you ate it. He's going to fight Gervonta Davis.
Who do you got?
Gervonta, I think, hits way harder than Floyd, but he's too small. Your brother's going to be able to get inside on him, put his weight on him, tie him up.
I hear your critique on fighting guys the same size as you. Is that why you guys wouldn't let me fight Conor?
Yeah, you're fucking huge. Conor weighs 145 pounds, 155 pounds.
Yeah, but he says he...
The proposal of Jake Paul versus Tank Davis was also challenged by Jeff Mayweather, who emphasized that the two men's extreme size disparity made the bout illogical. He explained it by pointing out that Tank will weigh between 147 and 150 pounds, but Jake Paul weighs over 200 pounds. He believes that the disparity is just too great for a genuine boxing match. However, Jeff Mayweather acknowledged that given of the celebrity power involved, it can be accepted as an exhibition. He clarified that supporters will watch because both names are well known enough to attract attention regardless of the competitive imbalance, not because they anticipate a fair contest.
It's kind of weird because Jake Paul is extremely bigger than Tank. And I mean, but with it being a exhibition, it makes sense. It's fine. He got a big name that he's going to be fighting. But I mean, it really makes no sense because he's going to be weighing over 200 and some pounds. Tank's going to probably be weighing maybe at the most 147, 150. So I don't even understand why.
Another well-known UFC competitor, Nate Diaz, called the bout useless. According to him, Tank Davis is just too little to take on Jake Paul, rendering the bout pointless from a competitive perspective. Nevertheless, Diaz acknowledged that the controversy and circus-like attention around it will continue to draw viewers. He likened the development to the WWE, claiming that because boxing emphasizes spectacle above real competition, it is beginning to resemble scripted entertainment. Even if these fights aren't really sporting competitions, Diaz pointed out that they at least give fans something to talk about.
I gotta ask you, Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis. Does Davis have a chance?
No. Gervonta is a great boxer, but he ain't gonna be Jake Paul.
So you got Jake Paul by knockout, or?
No, I don't got anybody, but I don't think
he's just too small.
It's just I don't want to beat up somebody that's small. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think of the fight?
I don't want to lose to somebody else. There's no point in the fight. It's a great fight, actually. I'm not hating on the fight, but I think my thoughts on it is let's watch and see what happens.
Ryan Garcia said in boxing is turning into WWE.
Yeah,
with that type of matchup. What do you agree? Last thing, White House card, like he said, you want Conor McGregor?
Yeah, but the whole thing's at WWE, so
right.
It's like, at least that's happening and getting something to talk about, something to watch, and I'm looking forward to that fight.